Someone call the doctor.
What's up, nerds? It's Michelle, aka K-Pop MD, and I'm here to jump onto a trend that's already left the station about 3 million years ago: unpopular K-pop opinions. OMG, super offensive and triggering, trademark. But unlike most of the other videos of this nature, I'm going to use my real-ass voice, because I'm brave like that, and I'm actually going to do my best to be respectful and thoroughly explain all of my points. And if you still get triggered anyway, just remember that opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, and some of them stink worse than others. Also, there's a good chance that not all of these opinions are actually unpopular, but like, K-pop opinions that may or may not be unpopular doesn't exactly have the same ring to it, you feel? Alright, anyway, let's get into the lukewarm tea. I don't like JYP. Not necessarily the company, but the man himself. A bold statement, I know, but like, IDK, he's always just kind of giving me the creeps. I know that a lot of people really like him for his business practices and say that he treats his artists the most fairly out of all the big three companies. And from what I've seen, that does appear to be true, but like, that's not saying much. And it doesn't necessarily mean he's a good person either. Like, he's a businessman. His product is K-pop idols. And what's the best way to increase the longevity of this product? Monitoring their mental state and making sure their needs are being met. Whatever the reason, it is wonderful that he's making mental health a priority, but that doesn't change the fact that he comes across as somewhat misogynistic at times and seems to either infantilize women or overly sexualize them with very little room in between. There's also a lot of people, including GOT7 themselves, who say that he favors his female artists over the male ones, which certainly doesn't help with the creepy, perverted image he has going for him. Again, I'm not making any accusations, and I don't think he's the devil or anything. I don't actually know the man, and I'm sure he does really care about all of his artists to an extent, but I just think that maybe he's not the sweet old K-pop grandfather that people make him out to be. Whew, okay, moving on to point number 2. I don't think Ateez is quite there yet. I know that they're still rookies and that they still have a lot of time to grow, but I feel like their music is a bit underwhelming for a group with such a dedicated and rapidly growing international fan base. Don't get me wrong, I do think they're really talented and I want to like them, but every time I listen to one of their title tracks, I get really excited by the hook in the chorus, but I'm bored during the verses. It's like they're missing that little spark that would take them from alright songs to amazing iconic household name type songs. I do think they have incredible potential though, and I have faith that they'll break through that barrier someday, but for right now, they're just not there yet. I don't know how unpopular this will actually be, but girl groups really need more difficult choreography. There are a few groups, like Dreamcatcher for instance, who always try and push the limits with their choreography and really put on a show. But for the most part, boy groups get all kinds of complex and powerful dances, while girl groups just get a lot of arm and hip movements. I think that's kind of sad, because to me what it says is that people don't care about the quality of girl group performances as much as long as they look good doing it. Also, I think a lot of companies are afraid of giving girl groups really difficult dances because they don't want them to get bulky or muscular. They want them to stay cute and skinny and feminine, which makes sense for some groups who skew younger or only do cute concepts, but like, come on, it's 2019. I want to see powerful ladies slaying the stage, not a bunch of beautiful statues who look like they could be doing the dance moves in their sleep. The idea of K-pop songs sounding too Western is stupid to me. Like, yes, you're allowed to dislike a song for any reason, but K-pop has always borrowed from Western sounds. If you don't believe me, just read the K-pop Wikipedia page. We wouldn't really even have K-pop as we know it today if it weren't for people like Lee Soo-man, who went to America and got inspired by artists like Michael Jackson and Madonna and decided to introduce that style of music to Korean audiences. Yes, K-pop has sort of evolved into its own thing ever since then, but it's never entirely left a Western influence behind. For instance, around 2009, we had songs like Ring Ding Dong, Abracadabra, and Chew that all relied heavily on autotune, which was a trend made popular by artists like T-Pain and Kanye West in America a few years prior. The only difference is that nowadays, instead of waiting for music trends to organically make their way across the world, we're seeing things rise in popularity at the same time in both countries thanks to the internet. I know that for some people, part of the appeal of K-pop is that it's different from whatever's on the radio in their home country, and that's fine, but just imagine someone saying that an Ariana Grande song sounds too Korean. It's not exactly a completely inaccurate statement. Seven Rings and God is a Woman both sound like songs that could be performed by idol groups. They have strong beats and a combination of rapping and singing, but nobody would ever really make that comparison because those sounds aren't just staples of K-pop music, they're staples of pop music from all over the world. So if you don't like a particular song or style of song, please just say you don't like it and leave it at that. NCT's concept isn't confusing, but SM sure does seem to be on a mission to make it confusing. Like everything was fine and dandy back when Dream was for cute and fresh concepts, 127 was for powerful hip-hop concepts, and U was for experimentation. But when people didn't initially hop onto the NCT hype train, SM decided to just throw whatever they could at them and see what stuck. They gave Dream sexy songs and 127 cute songs and took all the members that weren't already in a fixed unit, and one of them who was in a fixed unit, I'm still salty about that, and shipped them over to China. And I mean, I like Wavy and all, but I have no idea if they're still considered part of NCT or if we'll ever see any of the guys working on Korean projects ever again because SM won't tell us. They make this huge stink about NCT being a groundbreaking and international group, and yet they won't explain what's happening to the international fans who really want to know. Also, what are they gonna do when all the guys age out of NCT Dream? Do they have trainees ready to replace them? If so, how come we haven't gotten any mention of them yet? Are the existing members going to be folded into already existing units or form a new unit or get shipped off to another country entirely? I feel like the reason SM won't tell us the answers to any of these things is because they don't know the answers themselves. They're clearly making things up as they go along, and it sucks because NCT has so much talent, but at this point, the fandom has a huge barrier to entry, and that barrier just keeps growing bigger as time goes on. I think it's totally okay to say that you stan a group without knowing anything about any of the members. In fact, this is how I feel about 17. I love their music, and I think they're some of the most talented people in the industry, but I just feel absolutely no desire to learn all 13 of their names and dig deeper into them as people, and I think that's fine. At the end of the day, K-pop is about music, and even though everyone wants their faves to be individually recognized for their hard work, the music is still the most important part. It's their legacy, and it's what people are going to remember about them for years to come, not some funny interviews or weekly Idol appearances. I mean, isn't it better for someone to like a group for their music than for their looks or personalities anyway? I certainly think so. Luna fans are so freaking embarrassing. Not all of them, obviously, but a small and very vocal minority sure does make the rest of y'all look bad. Like, Jesus Christ, I understand that the group is very artistic and you feel very strongly about them, but maybe start telling people why they should stan Luna, you know? If you really want people to pay more attention to them, focus on their talents and discourage people from doing ugly shit. Do you honestly think the girls would be proud of their fans for hacking their competitors' YouTube accounts and trying to tear other girl groups down for no reason? That's just petty and sad, and it's not a good look for anyone. It's embarrassing for the girls, and it's embarrassing for the international K-pop community as a whole. Companies need to stop taking vocalists and trying to turn them into rappers. Like, if they enjoy rapping and decide to do both, like Soyeon for example, that's fine. But it's cases like Amber and Moonbyul that really break my heart, because not only were they forced to become rappers for one reason or another, but they were also discouraged from and given very little opportunity to showcase their vocals for many years, even though they initially signed up to be singers. I feel like it's an all too common occurrence to take someone with the deepest voice or who speaks English fluently and say, boom, you're the rapper now. Not saying that I don't love these rappers, because I totally do, but it just makes me sad that rapping is considered a skill to be learned rather than a natural talent that can be nurtured the way that singing is. The moral of the story is that idols should have more freedom over what role they fulfill within their group. There's really not that much to this one, so I'm gonna keep it brief. I don't really like Twice's music. I have nothing against them as people. They seem like really sweet and genuine girls, but I'm very selective about my cute concepts, and thus far, none of Twice's title tracks have really done it for me. It's possible that there's more diversity in their B-sides, but like, why would I check out the B-sides for a group that I'm not that into in the first place? Anyways, I'm actually thinking of making a whole separate video about what I think makes a cute concept work from a foreign point of view, so let me know what you think of that idea in the comments below. And the final thoughts I'd like to express in this video are about Blackpink, and those thoughts are that they're doing just fine, and people should just leave them alone. I feel like these days everybody constantly has something to say about Blackpink. They're overrated, Jennie's lazy, they're bad performers, they can't sing live, they should leave YG, they should have more songs, they peaked at debut and haven't been good ever since. Blah 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 blah, the list goes on and on. At the end of the day though, Blackpink is perfectly fine as they are. They're still the same group that they've always been, and the things that worked about them early on and skyrocketed them into popularity are still there. Because they're so ridiculously famous though, I feel like they get scrutinized for every little thing they do. Like, just let the girls breathe and allow them to enjoy their success and create awesome music for everyone to enjoy. I know that from the outside it can seem like YG has been mistreating them or that they've been neglected in the wake of all this scandal nonsense, but I really do think that they've reached the level of popularity where they could push for more freedom and more comebacks if they really wanted to. And at the end of the day, they're all grown women. They're not damsels in distress. They're perfectly capable of making their own decisions, and I really don't think that they need you to fight on their behalf. Also, they're all still really young and they have plenty of time to grow and experiment. Fans just need to be patient and supportive and let them do their thing. So yeah, that's it for my potentially unpopular K-pop opinions. Let me know your thoughts about any of these topics down below, and please subscribe for new videos 3 times a week. Now I really gotta go because I turned off the AC to record this and it's legitimately 110 degrees outside, so if you're still listening to this and you're about to go roast me in the comments, LOL, joke's on you, I've been roasting this entire time. Okay, I'm gonna go stick my head in the freezer now. Bye!